Afternoon, it is Craig Bennett, aka Cash Cake, back for another NBA Prize Picks video. If you haven't checked out my early video, I will link it at the end of this one where I gave you 4 of my top prize picks for today's 8-game slate. But I got 5 of them on tap. We will go through each and every one of them, play them, fade them. That's up to you. I just want to give you the analysis for each play. And like always, hit that like button for me, subscribe to the channel, and turn on that notification bell so you know when I upload these videos. Because we've had a few props actually change already from some of the someone's that I put out earlier, and you want to make sure you get on those lines before the lines do move. So with that, let's jump right into it. All right, like always, I have the NBA Prize Picks desktop version up here. They have a mobile app as well. You can download it on both the Google and Apple store. And if you don't have that Prize Picks account, make sure you run over there and use that promo code DFSArmy and get that 100% instant deposit match up to $100. The link is in the description below. All right, like I said, I have 5 plays on tap here. Pretty big 8-game slate. Sunday basketball is always crazy, especially in the NBA. I don't know if these guys are going out and partying or whatever they're doing, but things tend to be more difficult on Sundays. But I think the 5 plays I found, these guys generally are pretty consistent. So we'll talk about them here. The first one we're going to talk about is we're going to go in this Indy and Washington game. And we're going to talk about Malcolm Brogdon. Now, looking at he's got 19.5 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, 30.5 points, rebounds, and assists, and a 36 fantasy score. I kind of like a little bit of all of this. Going up against Washington, it's a 225.5 over-under with Washington favored by 2.5. And it's just that seems a little odd with Brogdon coming here. Now Porzingis is going to play for Washington, so I guess that's what they're assuming, that the team's going to gel. But this is the first game he's played with them, right? We don't know how Kyle Kuzma and Porzingis and how these guys are going to gel. So I kind of like the Indy side. I would put the plus 2.5 if I was betting it. But anyways, we're going to take Malcolm Brogdon over 30.5 points, rebounds, and assists. He's been back the last 4 games, and he's went over this in 3 of his last 4 games since he's been back on February 25th. Washington's ranked 17th in points allowed, 20th in rebounds allowed, 7 assists allowed, and he's put up in the 2 games that he's played Washington. Back on December 6th, he put up 31 points, rebounds, and assists, and then on October 22nd, he put up 44. Now, it's a whole different team. It's not the same team. They brought in Halliburton and Buddy Hield when they shipped out some pieces with Sabonis over to that Sacramento team. But since he's been back, man, he's been pretty aggressive. It seems like him and Halliburton kind of share the duties when it comes to assists. Each one of them is going to have the ball in their hands. Last 2 games, he's put up 36 and 41 minutes. Then before that, 29 and 30. And the shot volumes went up close, right? 23, 18, 13, and 14. So the shot volumes there. Points alone, 26 and 31 over his last 2 games here. So, and then, he gets plenty of rebounds, 5, 11, and 6. And then assists are always there, 4, 8, and 5. But I can't really figure out who's going to have the ball in their hands consistently. I think Brogdon's still the alpha on this team, but that doesn't mean that Halliburton's going to steal some of his thunder once in a while. But I think one of them is going to be on the court at all times to handle the ball. So that's why I like the points, rebounds, and assists here. The next one we're going to look at here is actually in the same game. We're going to go to his teammate, actually, and it's Tyrese Halliburton. And again, kind of same thing. Points 15.5, assists 7.5. I'm going to go points, rebounds, and assists. And the reason I like this, again, is like I said, one of them is always going to have the ball in their hand. They're both guys that can score. Buddy Hield's more just a pure scorer. Halliburton could get it done in many ways like Brogdon can. And this just feels too low, right? He's went over this mark in 9 of his last 10 games. The line on most books is at 27.5, so we get it a little bit of a discount here at Prize Picks at 26.5. He playing monster minutes. He's averaging 38 minutes a game over his last 10 games. The shot volume's there for him. If we looked at the 4 games that Brogdon has been back, his shots are still there. 12, 13, 16, only 8 against Detroit, but The points have been there too. 22, 23, 21, 8. He rebounds as well. 8, 3, 5, and 4. And the assist numbers are there. 7, 6, 7, 9, 11. So a guy like this, 26.5 seems way too low. I think this should be closer to 31.5. So it makes me feel like we're getting a discount both on him and Brogdon. I think Brogdon should be closer to 35.5, and Halliburton should be closer to 31.5. So we're going to take the over on both of them, even though they're teammates. I think they get there in this close spread. Next one we're going to go is we're going to look at rebound prop. I talk about this in the underdog video that I did, but I do like this play, and we're going to go after this one as well. And a fantastic matchup where we have Utah going up against OKC, and we're going to go with Rudy Gobert, and we're going to go rebounds. I don't mind his points at 13.5, but I feel like the rebounds is the way to go. If we kind of look at Rudy Gobert, history against OKC is horrendous. They're ranked 30th in rebounds allowed, 24th in offensive rebounds allowed, 30th in defensive rebounds allowed, 29th in against the center. And the 2 games that he's played OKC, he's put up 21 rebounds on October 20th and 17 rebounds on November 24th. They're coming off a pretty bad loss to the Pelicans, and I think that they're going to want to come out here and kind of put it to OKC. OKC is down a ton of guys. There's no Lou Dort. Favors is out. No Mike Muscala. They're just hurting for bodies right now. Giddey's out, so he should be able to do whatever he wants. He could get this number in half. I know 13 seems like a monster number, but again, we've seen what he can do. And even these games here, if we look at Houston, put up 17 rebounds. Phoenix, 14. Dallas, 17. So it wouldn't surprise me if he put up a Barbara Walters 2020 game, but we're going to go over 13 rebounds for Rudy Gobert. Next one we got going on here is we're going to go on the other side, and we're going to go Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. I've recommended this play quite a bit with all these guys on his team injured. Like I talked about, all those guys being out with Lou Dort and Giddey and Favors. Like the usage is just going to be massive. The matchup is horrendous going up against Utah. However, the shot volume is going to be there. And he's went over this number in 5 of his last 5 games. And even these games that he got blown out, he still went over because he's just putting up massive shots. 21, 23, 16, 24, 22 shots in those games. Playing massive minutes too, averaging 35 minutes a game over his last 5. Threes, getting to the free throw line, shooting threes. It's just the volume's going to be there for him, and a blowout or not, I still think he gets there. This number should be closer to 32 or 33, and I think the number is low like this because of that defense against Utah. But we just saw the Pelicans, just put a hurting on Utah. I still think Utah wins this game. I think Donovan Mitchell comes out and absolutely puts on a show. They don't have any Mike Conley on that side of the ball, so it should be Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert on that side with Clarkson coming off. But that Shai is going to have to do everything. And even in a blowout, I think he still gets over 30 points. He is the offense on that team, and I don't think it's going to slow down any. So we're going to keep riding this train, kind of like the Steven Adams over 3.5 assist prop. I'm going to keep riding that thing until the wheels fall off. It's just like printing money. So same kind of thing here with Shai. We're going to keep riding this as well with over 25.5 points. The next one we're going to look at, the last one here. You said I got 5. I talked about this gentleman in the early video today, but looking a little closely, I do like another one of his props today. And so we're going to look at RJ Barrett, and we're going to look at over 3.5 assists. Going up against the LA Clippers here, they're ranked 12th in the association assists allowed. And since they kind of moved Burks to the point guard, RJ Barrett's been playing a ton of minutes, and he's got the ball in his hands a ton. If you look at his minutes over these last 3 games, 43, 40, 38, and he's putting up 5, 7, and 6 assists. Now, he did play the Clippers once back on January 23rd, where he put up 6 assists against them. And I think it's a spot that we can continue to go back here. And like I said, in that early video, which I'll link at the end of this one, I have another play for him I like as well. And again, I'll go right back to the well. I know sometimes, you guys get burned once and then you try to get off a guy. But in that last game he played against Phoenix, the man played a ton of minutes. He played 44 minutes and he shot 6 for 26. Yeah, you heard that right. 6 for 26. So it's one of those things where he's getting involved a ton. and even assists, the way they're moving the ball around and how he's pretty ball dominant when he's out there. I do like the over 3.5 assists. So with that, a little recap of the plays that we have for this afternoon on Sunday, March 6th. We got Malcolm Brogdon over 30.5 points, rebounds, and assists. Tyrese Halliburton over 26.5 points, rebounds, and assists. Rudy Gobert over 13 rebounds, and I'm calling the Barbara Walters special 2020 for him. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander over 25.5 points, and RJ Barrett over 3.5 assists. Again, I will link the early video that we have here. Make sure to check that one out as well, and hopefully this analysis and these plays help you be profitable. And on your way out, hit that like button for me, subscribe to the channel, and we will keep on rolling. So with that, I will see you guys on the flip side. Deuces.